Hello, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Redragon Kumandra K552 Budget Mechanical Keyboard. This keyboard has your choice of Odomu red or blue switches. It retails for about $35 on Amazon, although you can sometimes find it cheaper. It is all plastic and it is hot swap. This means that you can switch out the switches, so to speak, without having to desolder the board. It also comes with a plastic keycap holder and not much else. No extra keycaps, no extra switches. So let's get right into it with the build quality. This board is all plastic, however it is well built and it doesn't flex much. It's very sturdy and reasonably heavy for a plastic keyboard. However, I noticed on my unit there's a little bit of wobble that gets slightly worse when you put the two plastic feet up on the bottom. However, overall, it is quite sturdy. So, this keyboard also, what we're talking about features, has some lighting. It is not RGB. I don't know why I took that off. You can't see it. But there is some lighting. You can't change the lighting settings around on this keyboard, unfortunately. And these keycaps, the letters on them are shine through so that you can see the RGB. It's not my favorite lighting in the world, but it is okay. There's also a bit of heavy-duty Redragon branding on there. I've seen some videos where you're able to take that off with an eraser or something of the like. So if you're not into that, I'm not, then you can go ahead and take those off. Alright, so getting back into it, like I said, this keyboard has Odomu switches. I got the model with the red switches. And it's got a keycap holder. Personally, if you're into keyboards and stuff, then I assume you're going to have a better keycap holder than this. But this does scratch the keycaps a little bit, so I would not recommend using it for long periods of time. But as you can see, you've got Odomu red switches in. One thing to keep in mind, though, is with this keyboard, if you wanted to put in, say, Cherry MX Reds, you could not, because this keyboard only takes the Odomu type switches with these smaller pins. You could, if you were to change out the switches on this board, I would recommend Acco switches, because I believe that those will fit in this board. I may be wrong. Someone might want to fact check me on that. So, this keyboard also does not come with a switch folder, which is slightly annoying, but I'm sure it's fine. So, the sound on this is definitely not, I would not describe it as thocky, so to speak. It is, there's a lot of spring ping. It's a little clicky. I don't find it that bad, but it is not the greatest sounding keyboard in the world, so it's kind of... And then your space bar, let's not talk about the space bar, it's... So if you could definitely do stuff with this keyboard to make it sound good. There are plenty of videos on that. But if you're looking for a keyboard that's going to sound great out of the box, this is probably not for you, as it is a very budget option, and you can tell that in the sound. This keyboard is pretty, it's just plug and play, really. You can just plug it into your computer, it'll start working. That's how keyboards work most of the time. There are two small indicator lights on here. They're marked caps, there's caps lock, and then they don't tell you what the other one is for. And I can't see the symbol, but, you know, there are two indicator lights on here. So, someone might want to tell me what that's for. There's no number pad on this. This is a 10 keyless keyboard. So you still have your function row, you still have your F keys. You still have your F keys, sorry, and you still have your arrow keys. These are arrow keys. but you do not have that number pad, so I would not recommend this keyboard if you are someone who does a lot of things with spreadsheets or something, or you would require fast number typing, because, as we all know, the number row is not the best for that. The typing experience on this keyboard, besides the sound, it's solid. It feels pretty nice to type on. The spacebar, like I said, that it's a little unstable. You can sort of hear that in the sound. The spacebar is probably my least favorite key on this keyboard. But other than that, it's very nice. These keycaps, you can swap out for basically any keycaps based on what you want, because these are pretty cheap and the font is, well, it's not to everyone's taste. So overall impressions of this, it is a phenomenal budget keyboard. Like, this is probably the most bang for your buck you're gonna get. You can upgrade this thing, you can mod it, or you can just use it as is. And although I have some critiques, this is a really solid keyboard. I would totally recommend it, especially for people on a really tight budget, like students, or just someone who needs maybe an extra keyboard. It is going to be a much better typing experience than a regular membrane keyboard, and if one of the keys happens to break, you can just swap out that switch. So, if you were interested in me trying to upgrade this keyboard and maybe mod it out a little bit, comment down below. And if you yourself are interested and don't want to wait for that video, there are plenty of other YouTubers who have done very good videos on modding out this keyboard and other similar keyboards. So, thank you for watching. And if you were considering the Kumandra K552, I hope this helped. Bye!